Those Days with the Monsters, Part 14. The ship was painfully silent. In the dining area, the entire crew sat in an awkward hush. Kirrel swallowed his tuba and tried not to think about what had just happened, but so far he wasn't successful. He could still hear the captain's shouts and see his angry eyes. Finally, Happy stood with a sigh. "I'll talk to him." He walked away from the dining area. Kirrel couldn't help the fuchsia curiosity pulsing over his frills. As Happy walked away, Kirrel found himself following as quietly as he could. A few cumin amusement sounds followed him, and he had to assume that he looked ridiculous attempting to sneak along. But the purple embarrassment in his frills was vastly outweighed by the fuchsia of curiosity. Happy entered the bridge, and Kirrel halted outside, listening and resisting the urge to peek. He didn't want the captain to see him, not as angry as he was. "Hey boss." "Happy," the captain groaned. Well. Yeah, I know, but you can't take it out on them. It's not their fault." "I know that." A moment of silence followed the captain's angry outburst, and then he sighed. "I know. Come on, Happy. You know I can't just sit still. Not with this going on." "I know. We never really could." "Happy, if they don't reply to us, who decides who lives and who dies? We don't have a right to do that. The closest thing to someone who does would be the people they farmed. But we both know if we leave it up to them." Happy's voice was heavy as he finished the captain's statement. "Xenocide. On first contact, too." The captain's voice seemed to shake slightly. "Every time. Every time is the same thing. Every time." The captain's rising voice was followed by a sharp bang, as if he had slammed his hands into something. "Happy, you know I didn't want this. You were here before anyone else. I don't want to do this again. Can we get away from it?" After a moment's silence, Happy spoke softly. "Cap, you know yourself best, but I don't think you'd live with yourself. Do you really think I'll be able to live with myself if I do?" The captain's voice sank to barely more than a whisper. "Look, Happy, I was hoping they'd reply. I really was. With the contact problem over with, I thought, maybe they'd take charge of it. They'd be better suited to deciding the right thing to do." "And you wouldn't have to be the one to call it." Happy sighed, and a soft rustle sounded, as if Happy were rubbing his face with his hands. "Look, Cap, don't know if you remember this, but New Houston 89. Bunch of morons decided they were going to make more money with more to sell, and they branched out to the people trade. Do you remember the ring dance sting? I saw it on the news. I was practically a kid, so I didn't understand. Are you saying it's like that?" Well, yes and no. Cap, I was on that sting." A hush descended. "You saw the ring dance? I remember you said something about 89. Didn't realize it was the ring dance." "Yeah. Swore off blood after that. You know how hard it was for me to get back on artillery, Cap." Happy sighed. "Look, I know my nickname's Trigger Happy, but that sting haunts me. Always will. Did you know they had kids in there? Kids. And not like goods for sale, like soldiers. 10-year-olds, maybe younger, and I had no choice." Happy's voice was shaking. "I don't think it's like that. It is like that. Those Tiziks? A lot of them might be innocent. A lot of them might not be. But if you think for a moment it's better that the ring dance raid never happened, you've never seen the inside of the place. I know you don't want to trigger xenocide. I don't either. But I want to leave those people on the farms even less. I can't drag the crew down with me, Happy. I'm the captain. And I'm the captain for a reason. If I'm going into the muck like this, I can't take the rest of them with me." "Already did." Happy's voice was quiet. "You really think I don't know where we are, Cap?" There was a moment of heavy silence. Then the captain sighed. "You're right, Happy. As usual. I just wanted to make something happen. Don't give excuses, Cap. Said you didn't want to drag them down with you, but you threw us all out here anyway. Don't half-ass your job. We're already halfway over the edge into Tizzik space. Don't get it back out now. Nobody on this ship does. No excuses, no ifs, no ands, no buts. You want to do this thing, we'll do it, but don't try to suddenly not be the one to call the shots. Happy's voice sank very low. Kirrel had to strain to hear it. Led the ring dance sting. Me. My orders. Every child soldier, I thought. Am I doing the right thing? Never got an answer. But I'll tell you something. My boys, they came with me. Gave an order and they'd follow it. Even down to the child soldiers. Lost a few of my boys to him before I got my head on straight, but get it on straight I did. And the ring dance is gone. Sure, I wish I knew for sure if I did right, but I try to think about the people I saved, not the ones I had to sacrifice to do it. And, well, got to see a mother return to her family. 2 little girls who hadn't seen her in close to a year. Husband who hadn't held a funeral yet, still hoping they'd find her. I got to see that. Me, the guy who told his boys to shoot kids no older than her little girls. Didn't deserve to get to see that. Kept thinking it shouldn't be me. Should be my boys, the ones who had to keep pulling the trigger, not me. Not the guy who told them to. I didn't deserve that comfort. But looking at you now, I think I get it. I took the burden off my boys like you're wishing this department would do for you. They could just follow orders and the burden ended up on me. Is what leading them means. Kinda wonder if it was a sign, not that I'm a praying man. After a moment, the captain sighed. Fine, I see what you're saying. Then are you with me, Happy? Wouldn't have tagged along if I wasn't, Cap. What'd you need? Kirrel wasn't sure since the cumin inflection could be tricky, but he almost thought it might be more of a statement than a question. I'm gonna need you to smuggle a cryo box out of storage to the jump shuttle and 2 pulse rifles just in case. Standard gear? Absolutely. The captain sighed, and then a chair creaked and steps sounded. If I'm stuck carrying the burden, I'm not gonna do it blind, not now. Let's get Doc what he needs. A soft whistle sounded. From context, Kirrel thought it was probably Happy, but he wasn't sure what a long descending whistle meant, and his translator gave him no clues. It was probably still glitching anyway. When Happy spoke, his voice was low. Sounds like old times. Hopefully not. The captain made what sounded like a half-hearted attempt at the cumin amusement noise. We made some dumb decisions. For what it's worth, Cap, don't think this is one of them. Happy left the bridge, and instantly his eyes landed on Kirrel, who flinched. With a small amusement noise, Happy pointed down the hall. Kirrel took the hint and hurried back to the dining area, his frills a brilliant and embarrassed purple. Behind him he could hear the Cap's voice. What was that? Nothing, Cap. Nothing at all.